Okay, this is a P3 tutorial. But first, P2 reminders. Number one, make sure you're in the line. If we're missing one person every time, or like every other pull, then we're going to be wiping every other pull. So just be safe with that. And the other P2 reminder is the seeds can drop like maybe a second later if it helps them. If your current timing is fine, then keep it up. But the most important thing about that is that everyone else needs to be out of the center. So like on our last pull, Snap was in the center. He just needs to walk out and make sure he's out fighting the suck. One final thing is on the second and third Galvanize, we will have an AMZ and a Darkness. So unless you're like DK with AMS level strong at that point, you need to be in that. It'll help a lot. So memory positions. This is the most important part about P3, is doing the memory game. So let's just watch this VOD.
Right side memory
First
game
of all,
here?
right side gets their memory game first. So you see, that's here, memory first. When you're doing the memory, you want your lights kind of in the same formation as when you're soaking, but you want to just group up a little bit more so that they're overlapping slightly, so that there can be flow between them.
This is diamond, T,
So you see
circle. Wait for
how
constellations.
spread they are. And in general, for the first two memory games of each side, you just wait for the constellations to end, and then you can do your memory game. So the deal with the memory game is you have to do it in order, and if you collide with another merc, or you do it out of order, the whole raid wipes. So this is why it's very important to be pre-spread, and to be thinking about where you need to go, like before the constellation ends, before you get called to move, all that stuff.
Diamond
So you see,
under
they do the
boss in
constellation,
3, 2, go.
they just wait,
T's and circles.
and they
Watch
do all three.
constellations.
So there's no time to be waiting around and thinking about what you're going to do afterwards. You have to have a plan in mind beforehand. I guess I'll talk really quickly about these soaks. So you see, this is left side now, but the same kind of formation is being made with the lights. It's just that these are spread out one into each soak.
Circle. Wait for constellations.
This should be easier than the memory game.
Diamonds meet under the boss in 3, 2, go.
And when you're soaking, like once you're done soaking yours, you go to the more middle one and meet up.
T's and circles. Watch constellations.
And then look, they were going to get their memory game, and they were doing that slight overlap thing. In the same formation, but slightly overlapping.
It's T, diamond, circle. Wait for constellations to go off.
And they're waiting for the first constellation. If there was a very obvious one, say like this was circle and this was circle, they'd just do it. Like if those were circle and circle was first, they'd just do it. But if not, you can just wait and just do it quickly after the constellation. Constellations are the thing that makes these mechanics actually hard, and constellations are probably gonna be the thing killing people most of the time. And I feel like you just have to get used to it for the most part, except for one thing that I've noticed, which is the idea of like triangles being safe, like the center of triangles, because it's really hard to tell like which way the lines are going to go between these four, right? And you just can't assume anything about it. Like it might go all the way around, it might cut in the middle, who knows. But if you're always standing in the center of a triangle of these like points of the constellation, a line will never go through you.
And circles.
Let's see what Fired Up does.
Watch constellation.
So yeah, look, he moves very slightly to the left here to like go for this triangle. Exile is like standing here.
And circles.
Let's
Watch
see.
constellation.
He goes into this triangle. Even though like this would have been safe, but he didn't know that, so he just went into the center of the triangle. So I think that's the number one thing you can do to keep yourself from dying from constellations. There are some minor like specific things here for the other ones.
Always careful with constellation.
So after the first cone, like the second, like phase, I guess you could call it.
It's T
We have less room, obviously.
and triangle.
And as we get less room, the memory game spreads become more important. The number one thing is just not fucking blowing us up. So if you need to like move your assignments around a little, that's fine. Okay, and then for the soaks in this second mini phase,
Consti's right side memory game here.
the important thing is being in these two outer ones with the light and then converging into the center one, both groups together. But like these ones, for example, are very close and the light can just stand in between. And then it just kind of doesn't really matter what people do as long as everyone's soaking. But the general goal is outer ones first and then converge on the center.
It's circle, pre-spread.
So you see the lights kind of in the middle of them,
And T.
if possible.
Circles will go now.
Okay, and then last phase, this is where it like really gets hard. And once again, we're watching left side POV right now.
Memory game.
So Dratnos will pull this all the way to the back here to give more room between the groups.
And constellations don't pop over the seed person.
In the case of left side, we get the soaks first, while the other side does the memory game. So in this case, or like in this last phase, the goal is to, at minimum, like whole group starts at the back, goes to the middle one, goes to the forward one. Here they're very close together, so the light standing in between, you can kind of do both at once. But like that's the general movement, is back to forward for both groups.
Watch Consti's.
But you can see it in the fired up VOD because he's right side, but they do the same thing.
So
Okay, and then we're just gonna look at the final memory game.
and X is go.
This is the hardest part of B3.
And another side ready for your memory game right now. Make sure to get spread. Like
So left or right side already did their memory game, but it kind of looks the same. So
boss, X,
this is the final memory game. This is the left side memory game.
diamond, circle. So X is
So look, the light just has to stand kind of center with the boss at the edge. Everyone has to spread all around this circle, so that's why the spread positions are important for this one.
go now. Watch the body.
And they try to do as many as they can before the constellations happen. Yeah, you might get fucked more on some pulls, and you might just have to like do one first. Otherwise, you wait.
Diamonds go.
Look in the triangle there.
And circles and so yes.
They finish it after. If you pop over the seed guy, you'll spawn soak. So try not to, but like it's not the end of the world. It's not that bad.
For